he got the paper stump out to rescue us after me saying beware of it. So that's an interesting little point there, actually. If you're working on newsprint and you're starting to get too many erases on it, the paper itself might start to lift up. Well, it will do. And one little fix on that is to get the paper stump out. And what you do is you compress the fibers back down with it, and at the same time you soften out the mistake, the error. And that's what I just did there. You certainly don't want a hole, a hole in your paper. That doesn't look very professional. So come in and look at the difference in line here. So I put a broad on where the obliques were because I feel that they're soft. And then I put a hard, thin line on the hip crest because I know the bones are hard in there. So if you're thinking, how do I place these things? There's a little, not a rule. I certainly never want to say that, but there's a tip. You can see that I'm putting hard edges on the scapula there. But at the same time, I don't want to say that's what you have to do every time, because by turning stuff on its head, by doing the opposite, you sometimes, a lot of the times, get a really interesting result that could be the making of the drawing. But as a general guide, hard edges on bones is a good start. Then you do whatever you like. Like when you drive a car, it's all rules, you know, you're clinging onto that steering wheel for dear life. And then later, you're having a coffee and whistling as you go. So art's, that's not the same as driving a car, but you get the idea. After a while, it gets easier as long as you don't adhere exactly to every single little rule that will curtail your creativity. So here you can see that I'm constantly changing that face over and over. No longer even interested in the reference. You can see where it was before. See how mean that face looks? Doesn't mean it's a mean face, but it's a different countenance. It looks like someone that is a bit more weary and less optimistic about the outcome of whatever is in their mind. And I felt that this is a romantic piece, and so I want this character to have that bloom of youth where optimism reigns supreme, no matter how difficult the future looks. They believe that love will triumph. And I love that idea. I'm a born optimist. So I think optimism is definitely the way to go with everything you do. Any negativity that creeps into your work will result in a bad drawing. So try and keep positive with it. Keep that mindset all the time. Even if the drawing goes off the rails, you still have that confident hand to start another drawing. So never doubt yourself. Make decisions that you can work on later to help your work because something, maybe the wheels fell off here and there. But certainly don't go, oh, not again. You just go, oh, right, that again. I got to keep my head on here and remember that that was something not to do and get a better result next time. So sometimes you need a couple of hard knocks for it to stick. If everything's spoon-fed, you'll hit an error somewhere or a roadblock somewhere, and you certainly don't want that in your professional career. Iron it all out now. So very slick demos. You can see I put in warts and all. Very slick demos are, I think, a little dangerous because you're assuming that everything goes right all the time. And it certainly doesn't. In fact, it's just par for the course. Your drawing will always have roadblocks in it. And if it doesn't, you might be playing it a bit too safe. And so when I teach a class, I don't ask the model to hit poses I'm good at drawing. I just go ahead, give me some gestures and let's see what we get. And sometimes models are incredibly difficult to draw. In fact, I said to Alana once in a class, give me something really difficult, Alana. And she contorted her body into what you would think was a possessed person. I went, okay. But it was really interesting to draw, and I was really glad for it. So there we go for part one of this, and let's get into the next part.